Jeff, both sides clearly seem to be digging in their heels here.
That's true, and I think there's a factual matter that is worth putting out on the table. If she refuses to testify on Monday, Kavanaugh is getting confirmed. I mean, Jeff Flake has said that, Susan Collins has said that. If she, maintains that this investigation is a sham and I'm not taking part, he is getting confirmed. Now, that may be unfair, that may not a good thing, a bad thing. I think that's just a factual thing. If she does testify, then I think all the cards are thrown up in the air. He may well be confirmed anyway. But I think everybody should be clear about what the stakes are of her decision to come forward or not before the committee. It's up or down.
Well, Jeff, in talking to her attorney last night, the attorney made it clear that any FBI investigation would probably take longer than being able to be completed by next Monday. Now, you can argue whether that's true or not, and seemed to make it clear that without an FBI investigation, she didn't want to sit down. And even if there was an FBI investigation, it wouldn't be on Monday because there's not enough time. Do you think that's essentially just kind of playing chicken here? Do you think she actually would, if there is no FBI investigation, she would still go and sit down?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what their strategy is, but I do know that there is not going to be an FBI investigation. Senator Grassley, the president, the Republican Party, this is a take it or leave it offer to Ms. Ford. I mean, that's just what it is. She's got to decide whether she wants to testify or not. It's a hard decision. It's easy for us to sit here. She's a private figure. She's got a life she wants to lead, but everybody should be clear about what the stakes are. If she does not testify, he is getting confirmed.
Carrie, as a supporter of Judge Kavanaugh, why shouldn't there be a continuation or reopening of the background investigation if it takes a couple of days or a couple of weeks? Why shouldn't there be?
I think just going back to your parallel to the Hill-Thomas system, this is actually following precisely the proper pattern there. What was going on with the investigation there was a pre-disclosure investigation. That's what the FBI is for, finding out this confidential information, talking to all the different sources while it's still confidential so they could preserve the witnesses' privacy. And this would have been the right thing to do for Dr. Ford. That's not how the Democrats chose to do it. They held onto it. They sat on it for 6 weeks. Then they disclosed it in this final way. After Anita Hill's allegations were made public, there was no FBI investigation. That is the phase that you go to the Senate looking at it. The only reason to have the FBI do it is because then you can do it confidentially. In terms of getting someone on the record to inquire, it's ultimately the Senate who makes those judgments because the FBI really just amasses the information. It's the senators who decide what to do with it, how to weigh the different things. And that's part of their advice and consent, and that's exactly what's happening here. So it's an exact parallel, in fact.
Carrie, that's ridiculous that you just heard Orrin Hatch say there was an FBI investigation.
There was. It was pre. This is what the FBI does. It was. It absolutely. Go back and look it up. It was before the hearings. It was before this. It was leaked. The hearings came about because the information from that very investigation was leaked to the media.
It was then the second round of hearings. It was before the second round of hearings, which was the round we're coming into.
It was before that was leaked to the public, though. My point is, it doesn't make sense after it's leaked to the public. The whole point of having the FBI do it, as opposed to doing it by asking them and having the senators do the question themselves, is because of the confidentiality. They can ask the various witnesses untainted by each other. They can preserve the privacy of all the people involved, preserve the reputations of both the parties involved. That didn't happen here. That's how it should have happened. If Feinstein in July had handed that over, frankly, like Senator Biden did, properly, then we could have had that process. But we didn't have it. Now it's all out. Now let's go to the next phase, which is exactly what happened there. Once it was out, they had the hearing, and that's how the senators came to their conclusion.
Judge Gertner, do you buy Kerry's argument? Because, I mean, any FBI investigation, it's not in secret. You're asking neighbors, FBI knocks on a neighbor's door, and then the FBI, people figure out you're being investigated by the FBI.
Yeah, but if the argument here is that this investigation, if the FBI were to investigate, it would somehow be tainted because the information has already come out, then surely a hearing without the benefit of any investigation is even more problematic. The notion here that the president could not pick up the phone and say, can you look further into this allegation, just doesn't make sense. And the fact that it's public, she has made it public. That would mean that people would be more prepared, but that doesn't disqualify the investigation any more than this hearing does.
Carrie, I want you to be able to respond to that.
Look, the allegations are vague enough. There's no location you can even go to. You can't dust for prints. This is 35 years ago. The key information here are her allegations and his statements in refutation of that. That's something that the senators, that's under penalty of perjury. This is a great way to go through that. I don't know what else you're going to find.
How about Mark Judge?
Looking at
Why
it, and
shouldn't Mark Judge testify? He's the third person there. He's allegedly the third person in the room. Any reasonable, let me finish, Carrie. Any reasonably serious investigation, when there are 3 people allegedly in a room where a woman is assaulted, you would ask all 3 people to testify. It is crazy and irrational and indicative of how this is a kangaroo court that the Republicans are not calling Mark Judge as a witness.
Look, they're not subpoenaing him, but they're also not subpoenaing her. If she doesn't want to testify, they're not going to subpoena her either. And I think we can agree that would also be even more relevant than what he has to say. And on top of which, look, what he has said so far through his attorney is, I don't remember any of this. This didn't happen. That only goes to support Judge Kavanaugh. If you take him out of the room, actually, I think if anything, it hurts Judge Kavanaugh and helps Dr. Ford. So I don't know why you'd be complaining that he's not there. I think if he's declining to testify, they're giving that the same respect they're giving to Dr. Ford if she chooses not to testify.
Judge Gardner, final thought.
I can think of questions to ask. For example, if you want to find out about the circumstances under which she told her husband and she told her therapist, what did she say and how did she say it? And if that was long before Judge Kavanaugh was up for any post, then that would have some salience here. But all you have in this hearing room is her saying what it was she communicated. I'd love to hear from them, particularly the therapist. What was said and how did she say it and when?